Happy Monday. Welcome to The Daily. It is June 24th. I am Andrew Wiebe. Next to me, Greg Lawless. And Greg, the Portland Timbers are atop the Western Conference. Not in first place. They don't have enough wins yet to do that. But NBC Sports Network on Sunday, we got a good one. 3-0 win for the Timbers. Caleb Porter and his men now 15 games unbeaten. Are they the best team in MLS? Is this the team that everyone's looking up at right now?
Well, I would certainly say if you have to go to gelled win, yes, the best team. Right now, Portland, as you said, 15 games unbeaten. That's tied for the fourth longest streak in MLS history right now, and the second longest streak in a single season. So they are on a roll. Obviously, Caleb Porter has all of those pieces really working. They don't play for another 2 weeks. And by then, they might be losing some players because of the Gold Cup. But yeah, I think you have to say this is probably the best team in MLS right now.
Now, the funny thing about this, June 7th, they go to Columbus. They are the owners of the longest unbeaten streak in MLS. And you mentioned the Gold Cup. Will Johnson, one of those likely to leave, a magnificent goal there on Sunday, likely to be up for goal of the week. But as we said, number 2 in the West, number 2 in MLS. Number 1, Real Salt Lake. It seems like they just keep flying under the radar, but a 2-0 win against Seattle, in which they just choked the life out of that Seattle offense.
Yeah, they did a great job, I thought Seattle did, and a terrific goal from Beckerman, I think, is going to be the highlight of this one for sure. But this is a Salt Lake team, and I think what you said is perfect, Andrew. They've done this very quietly. It's sort of under the radar. They've snuck up on people in a way because they aren't doing it with big scores. They aren't doing it necessarily with the big names or anything like that, but they're getting it done. I think their defense has been very strong despite having to mix and match through the season as they've gone through, and they're just getting the goals when they need them. They are on top of the Western. They're on conference. They're on top of all of MLS. They're tied on points with Portland right now, but because they have more wins, they're on the top.
Yeah, make sure you check out the MLS standings. Of course, second overall, the Montreal Impact have only played 14 games, so they're very much still in that Supporters' Shield race. Well, Greg, red card, the name of the game out in Philly. The New York Red Bulls did not get this one done. A 3-0 loss to Philadelphia Union. Connor Casey, the star of this match. We saw Thierry Henry drop deep. We saw some heads down. Not a marquee performance for the Red Bulls, but the Union, this is a marquee win for them after a lot of wins against teams that have not been in that playoff race.
Yeah, this is a good win for Philadelphia, and you mentioned the red card off the top here, and that's probably the most important one. Lloyd Sam getting the red card for the New York Red Bulls in the first half, and that was the problem for the Red Bulls from then on. They were down a man, although they did push a little bit, but they could never really put it all together. A silly foul from Sam in this case. There was no reason for him to do this. Now, Danny Cruz loves to get under people's skin, and he did it again, but it was a deserved red card in this case. And then they were also missing Juninho. They were missing Tim Cahill. They were missing Fabian Espindola. These are players that could have helped their attack. None of them there, and I think that it's just a different Red Bulls team when they're not there.
Yeah, it certainly is. You look at that Union team, it may be different come Gold Cup.
Yeah.
Jack McInerney missed his chances in this match, but likely out. They have to be happy to see Connor Casey finding the back of the net. Speaking of a guy who won't be at the Gold Cup as well, Mike McGee keeps scoring goals. A 2-1 win for the Chicago Fire, now 5 unbeaten for them. Columbus Crew get that early penalty, but then Dilly Duca, McGee, this is starting to be a team that is starting to have a little bit of flash, a little bit of flavor after not much early on.
Yeah, you know, on paper it's not a bad team, and now on the field it's not necessarily a bad team either. They're starting to pick it up a little bit. 5 games unbeaten, and a lot of it goes to Joel Impera out on the left side. If he can stay wide out there and just serve the ball in, where Duca's making the deep run out of the midfield, and now they have a guy up top who can score, it's a Chicago Fire team that people are going to have to watch out for.
Yeah, one note on the Chicago Fire, though, Honor Friedrich tweeting his retirement this week, and that hip injury just turned out to be too much to come back from Bakary Soumare and Austin Berry, the starters going forward in the middle. We'll make it 5 teams in Mexico for Herculez Gomez, a new landing spot for him.
Cinco.
Yeah, well, we've known about this one for a while, but finally introduced at Club Tijuana, a player they said they've been going after for a while now. Herc is happy to be there, right on the border there with San Diego. Greg, what do we make of this? Is this the right move, the right next step for Herc?
I think it's a good move for Herc. Whether it's the next step, I don't really know. We'll see if he can get Xolos to start to play a little bit better again. You know, they had that great run in Copa Libertadores, but now they're into the next stage. Like, back in the league. How can they do in the league and keep it consistent? That's the key for them. And they get a big marquee U.S. national team player in their roster. That's important for them from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah, and U.S. fans will certainly hope that he recovers from that little knock he had suffered that had taken him out of the most recent U.S. camps. That's all we have for today. One final note, though, goal of the week. We mentioned Kyle Beckerman. We mentioned Will Johnson. I know who I'm voting for, Greg. who gets your ballot?
I'm voting for Vancouver's Camilo Sanvezzo because his little run in the midweek game, when he goes down the right side, cuts to the inside, and that left-footed shot into the far corner, that's my goal of the week.
Well, you might disagree. Let us know in the comments section below what you think, and make sure to cast your vote later today. Also, check out Extra Time Radio. Mike McGee will be on with myself, Simon, and Nick. We'll talk about that trade and what's going on with the Fire. That's all we have here on Monday. We'll see you on Tuesday.